Greetings, my friends. This is Melusi Ndhlalambi from MelVee Broadcasting Network. I want to talk a little bit about leaders calling followers, or leadership call to followers. You could say leaders calling and training other fellow leaders. If you read with me from the book of Mark chapter 1 verse 17, we hear the words of Jesus calling his group of disciples. The first group, he says, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." The first thing we see here is that Jesus went out and made the call personally, directly to these men to follow him. He didn't send a representative. He didn't send an email. He didn't have a talent show to see who's able to talk better than the other one. What he simply did was he made the call to his disciples. So when you see someone that you really want to be part of your team as a leader, extend the invitation to them. Call them personally. Approach them. Don't send a letter or an email, an agent. Go yourself as the leader and invite them to be part of the bigger vision. Why would you call someone to be part of you? Because the vision is bigger and it's greater than you, my friend. It must outlive your time, and therefore you need to build teams of fellow leaders and co-workers with you. And I like the fact that secondly, when you read that text, Jesus' call was private and personal. No fanfare, nothing. He went directly to the men and said, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." So calling people into your team is a very private and personal matter. It's a relationship matter. Don't include people in your team that you have no relationship with. Create that personal relationship. Visit them in their homes. Get to know their experience. No wonder Jesus visited Peter and spent time with his mother-in-law, and his mother-in-law was healed. So visit, spend time with those that you call. Make it private. The third thing that we see is that Jesus did not call these men to do some work. He called them to himself, not to do the work. He said, "Come, follow me." Don't follow the work. Follow me, and I'm the one who will make you fishers of men. As a leader, don't be a manager, because you see, that's the difference between management with employees and leadership with followers. Managers, they hire people and put them on a salary and give them a job description, and they supervise them, whereas leaders, they call followers and they infect them with their vision and they release them to go and be leaders in their own right. You give them power and authority to go and perform whatever they can without limitations. You'd remember in my previous chat, I said, if you see someone who's doing what they've been asked to do by their leader, don't stop them. Leaders don't stop others. So Jesus calls his disciples, and he calls them to himself, not to the assignment. He says, the assignment, I'm the one who will train you on how to do it. The fourth thing I see Jesus doing in this verse, and if you read through how he collected and gathered his team around him, was that he defied the conventional thinking. You see, the conventional thinking these days says you must look for someone with a top-class degree from a top-class institution somewhere around the world, and someone with character and reputation, someone who has been proven, who has experience. Jesus broke that mold. He looked beyond the veneer of socialization and academic excellence. He went to the characteristics that every leader must definitely consider. You see, when you want a winning team, you want people with talent, you want people who are committed, and you want people with character. Jesus went for fishermen, and he wanted to take that fishing expertise and convert it into fishing of men. Very interesting that Jesus looked for people who were already engaged. Perhaps you haven't considered this, my friend, but when I looked at fishermen as a trade, it requires someone with a lot of patience. someone who is patient to wait for that fish to go into the net. It requires someone who is daring. Fishermen often go to fish when others go to sleep. They wake up early in the morning to go and catch the fish before the sun is up. Remember, Peter toiled all night before Jesus found him that day and he said, "Cast your net." Fishermen are dedicated people. They work hard, unlike employees with a salary. Those who are called to be followers of leaders, they work for the leader until the work is done. They won't come home until they've made the catch. Whereas employees will work within the scope of their work and the time that's allocated. When it's time to go home, doesn't matter the work is finished or not, they will go home. But followers are people who are so sold to the vision that their work rate is much higher because they are working knowing that the success of this vision is in their hands. So Jesus calls these guys based on their talent, their commitment, and their character. So when you're calling your team members, go beyond the venue of socialization, go beyond the venue of academic excellence, look deeper for characteristics of people who believe in you as a leader and in the vision you're calling them to. The other thing I noticed was that Jesus went for diversity. He didn't go for one particular group of people. He had tax collectors, he had fishermen, he had financial people, he had shepherd people, he had people of different backgrounds and different skill sets. And so when you make up your team, don't make it homogeneous, make it diverse. There's more power in diversity, my friends. Last but not least, we see Jesus infusing the vision, infecting his disciples with the calling that he had given them. And we hear him say, I didn't call you to an earthly kingdom. The work you're doing now shall go on into the new Jerusalem. Now we hear, when you read in the book of Revelation, that Jesus had an eternal plan of these men, not only to just be fishers of the fish, but to apply the same concept in a trade of fishing for people and bringing them into the kingdom to be priests and kings together with Christ. When you read the Revelation, it says, when it describes the new Jerusalem, it's a city with 12 foundations of the apostles. So these guys have immortalized their names because they accepted a smaller call which had a global, if not eternal, impact and consequences. So Jesus continues to teach them for 3.5 years and he gives them power. He says, wait for power. When power has come, you shall be my witnesses in Jerusalem, into Samaria, into Judea, and unto the ends of the world. So today, my friends, as you lead in the area God has called you to be, make your calling personal. Make it private and relational. Don't go for qualifications and big names and big academic institutions or social history or a name that they are who they are so and so or they are so and so's son. Go for character. Go for commitment. Go for talent and vision. And finally, make sure when you've called them into your team, you infect them with the virus of your vision so that wherever they go, they represent your vision, your mission, and your calling. May the Lord bless you as you lead and as you call others to be leaders.